afternoon, everybody. Stephanie is quite a leader. I have pulled her out of positions and put fires out a lot of times in the last 4 years. And anyway, now she's chief of staff. So who do I pull out next? Put the fires out. Anyway, she does absolutely a great job. Look, my job today is simply to thank you. I guess we're going to have our pictures taken, but I'm very grateful for your service, grateful for your work. I think public service provides us with an opportunity to really make a difference, to change things, to shake things up. No matter what your position is, I won't go through all the different departments, but every single department is doing something that is impacting people and impacting the quality of life of people in the state of Ohio. Every single department does that. Many years ago, I came to the conclusion that how I could best enjoy life and best get things done, change things, was in public service. I have, as Stephanie said, and she went through the resume, my first public service job was exactly 50 years ago. And as an assistant county prosecuting attorney, I just got out of law school and was very fortunate that I was named as assistant county prosecuting attorney in Greene County. And I loved the job. It was 25 years of age, out trying within 3 months after I got out of law school, or 3 months after I passed the bar, trying major felony cases in a courtroom in Greene County. In those days, the prosecuting attorney, and later I was elected county prosecutor, the prosecuting attorney and the assistants could also have a private law practice, just kind of the way it worked. And so I did that. I had a private law practice. But what I found was that I was spending 95% of my time in the prosecutor's office, 5% in the private law practice. And it was frankly because I loved one and I didn't particularly love the other. And so you kind of gravitate to what you love and find out what you really like to do. So thank you for your service. It certainly makes a huge difference. I don't know whether 50 years is in your future of public servants, but hey, you could do it. I'm still doing it. And I hope I have 4 more years, so that's the idea anyway. Just a couple of comments about leadership. Look, there's 1 million books written. A lot of them aren't worth anything, I think. Everybody who's been a successful leader thinks that they can write a book and tell you how to be a leader. And I guess you'll learn something from those books. I learn more from biographies. I learn more from study of people who make decisions, whether they be presidents, generals, whoever it is. I get more out of those books than I get out of, this is how you do it book. One of the books that I think is particularly good is Doris Kearns Goodwin's book about leadership. And really what she did, she kind of cheated a little bit. She'd written 4 books, more than that, but she had 4 books on American presidents. The two Roosevelt's book on Lyndon Baines Johnson, and she had other smaller books on several other presidents. So she'd written those books, and she kind of put it together in a leadership book. And what you find, even just by reading her book, is that when you look at presidents, their leadership style many times is just totally different from each other. But they all kind of figured it out, how to make it work for them and how to make it work for whatever personality they have and whatever strengths they have. We all have strengths. We all have weaknesses. So I'm not sure there's one way to do it. But I wrote a few things down that I think are probably common for all good leaders. One, don't be afraid to make decisions. You think those of you who are football fans, particularly with the NFL, you look at these quarterbacks who just gutsy people, and you'll see them in a game throw an interception, and you think, oh my God, is he going to throw again? And then he comes back when they get the ball again, he's throwing, he's moving the ball forward. So you can't be afraid of making decisions. Every decision won't be right. You'll have some that the decision was right, but it turned out wrong. And it's kind of the way life is. But the willingness to make decisions and to, own up to them, they're your decisions, I think is something very, very important. John Kennedy, when he was relatively new in the Oval Office, had a decision to make in regard to Cuba. And it was literally a few months after he was elected. And he made the decision to back Cubans who were out of the country, put a force together, and go in and try to take Castro out. It turned out to be a total disaster. And Bay of Pigs disaster, there's been books written about it. I won't go into why it was a disaster. It was absolutely total disaster. Kennedy came out and said, I am the responsible party. If this was a parliamentary system government like in Great Britain, our government would have fallen and there would be a new prime minister. But that is not the system that we have in the United States. And he took total responsibility for what turned out to be a total disaster. Interestingly, several months later, when the next polls came out, his popularity was even higher than it had been before. People expect you to take responsibility. Number two, the mistakes that I have made during my career have been primarily, I've made plenty of them, have been primarily because I didn't have enough facts. I didn't have enough information. I didn't dig deep enough. I didn't ask enough people. I didn't ask the right people. And so, again, you'll make mistakes, but if you're armed with as many facts as you can get, your odds of making those mistakes go down appreciably. Get the facts. Related to that is learn from your mistakes. Again, one of the big mistakes I've made is not getting enough facts, and I've tried to learn from that, and I've tried to look back. The truth is we learn a lot more from our mistakes than we learn from we learn a lot more from our failures than we learn from our successes. We all think if something is successful, of course, that was easy. I did it right. I'm smart. When you have a failure, you learn that you're not so smart, and you know that you try to figure out, well, what went wrong, and how do I avoid that in the future. Listen. Listen to other people. Listen to those around you. I've always tried to surround myself with a relatively small number of people who are different, who look at things differently, maybe have different expertise in different areas. And when it comes time for a decision, I generally pull those people together and listen to them. And I learn over time in what areas some of them just are really, really good and know a lot more than I do. Try to surround yourself with people that know more than you do. That's always helpful when you're trying to pull facts together, pull information together. And finally, as leaders, encourage those who report to you, encourage their ideas. I have found in state government and the executive branch that one of the most difficult things to do is to get people in different agencies, in different departments, to come up with new ideas and say, we need to do this differently. And part of that is because the way human nature is, the way the structure of government is, or frankly, any big organization, there's usually not a great premium put on those who raise their hand and say, hey, we're going the wrong way, or hey, we can do something better, we can do this differently, we can do this more efficiently, we can serve the public better, or why aren't we doing this at all, or why are we doing this? Maybe we shouldn't be doing this at all. And we generally don't put a premium on that. In other words, we don't reward that. So one of the things that you can do as leaders is for the people who report to you, reward that. And make it very, very clear to them, look, I'm not going to take every idea you have. Some may be good, some might be bad. But if you can encourage someone to, think about it, to come up with 5 ideas or 10 ideas, and one of those ideas is good, that's great progress. So encourage people, particularly who report to you, to think outside the box, to do things differently. Because the natural tendency is to say, I'm going to do my job, I'm going to do what I was told to do, and the easiest way not to get into trouble, not to have a problem, is just do it and don't come up with new ideas. You have to encourage that, because if you don't encourage it, they're not going to come forward. They're not going to think that they can come forward with those ideas. So that's leadership in 10 minutes, according to Mike DeWine. But, like I said, everybody's got a different leadership style. Everybody does things differently. But finally, I think the most important thing is have passion. Bring passion to your job. Bring passion to what you do every single day. Find fun in it. Not everything you do is going to be fun. Not everything I do is fun. But the passion that you can make a difference, that you can do something better, that you can change things, that passion, I hope, does not leave you. Because when you start losing that passion, I think for all of us, if we don't have the passion, we can't really do the job that we need to do, or the job that we would want to have done. So thank you very much. Good to be with all of you. Congratulations. Thank you for doing this. And I'll turn it back to Stephanie, or is it you, Stephanie? All right.